Uh, Hello everybody, this is JD from JD Creative Arts. Today I'm going to do a short video on how to put black gesso on your canvas. I'm just going to be using a piece of 9 by 12 canvas paper, but how we do it still applies to the canvases. Get your foam brush, your black gesso. You can reach in here and get you a nice little blob of it. Stick it on here and just spread it around real good. Make sure you cover the whole canvas with it. You don't want to put too much on here, because if you put too much on here, you're going to have smooth spots on it. It's not going to grab the paint like it should. But you take this and you spread it all the way out, all over the canvas. Okay, now you can kind of come in and just lightly go across the top of it, and it'll take a lot of these thick spots off. I've got one right there. Just come off. You can scrape off the extra back into your container if you can. You know, you're usually going to do 2 coats of this, just to make sure you get a good coverage on it. Usually I'd have this taped down so it didn't move, but and you can use a bigger foam brush. I just happen to grab this little small 1-inch one to do this. It's moving everywhere, isn't it? There we go. But yeah, go back over it just to smooth out some of these thicker spots so it doesn't, so it'll grab the paint like it should. Okay, so that looks, I'll go over it one more time just to make sure. Like I said, you're going to do this twice, so if it looks a little thin in some spots, that's fine. When you come back over with the second coat, it'll cover all that back up. Now this also applies, this is also how you do white gesso. If you'll ever buy some of those, if you ever buy some canvases and they feel really dry, like they don't have any gesso on them, if you've got gesso, this is how you can fix that yourself. Okay, now we're going to sit here and leave this for 30 minutes and let it dry out, and then we'll look at it again. All right, everybody, we're back. It's been about 40 minutes since we finished up that last one, so we're going to check it. So first thing you do is look and see if it's got any real high sheen off of it. If it does, then it's obviously not dry, so leave it for a little bit longer. I don't see any on here. Now another way to check it too, if it doesn't have any light reflecting off of it, then touch it. And if it still has a cool feel to it, not like freezing cold, but if it still feels cool, then it's not quite dry yet. Leave it for a little bit longer. This one is ready to go. So we're going to do our second coat. I'm going to get out my sponge brush again. So you reach in here, we get a little bit out of here, not quite as much as we did earlier. Okay, Alright, so now we'll do the same thing. Just take this, smear it around on here. And if you didn't notice, I did tape this down so it won't be running all over the place on me this time. But you smear the gesso around again, do just like you did earlier. Get it covered real good. And this will cover up any of the thin spots that you saw earlier after you finish that, after you finish the first coat. And the second coat obviously isn't going to take as much gesso as the first one. We'll just smear that around real good. You don't want it to get too thick because, like I said before, it'll end up having thick spots in it that won't grab the paint like it should. Like I said, and this will help you save some money on canvases, because some canvases cost a little bit more when they're black versus the standard white ones. But this will also, if you do paintings that you just cannot stand, did not turn out the way you wanted them to or whatever, you can always kind of you can always go through and scrape off the extra paint that's on them, gesso over the top of them, and then reuse the canvas to practice on. Okay, so let's go back over one more time. I forgot to turn off the... There we go. I forgot to turn TV down, sorry. But we'll turn this down, or go over this again, just to make sure there's not any thick spots on it. All right, looks good now. Maybe a little spot right there, it's no big deal. But it looks good. It covered up all the thin spots that were on it. You can't see any of the original white through it. But you would usually do this, do a couple of coats, and that's about it. Sometimes, sometimes you might be able to do 3. It just depends on what you want. But the more gesso you add to it, the more that excuse me, the smoother it's going to get, and it's going to be harder to get the paint to stick. Now, some of them say put down a layer, let it dry, sand it a little bit. I don't do that. I just make sure it's good and smooth and spread out. But I don't usually do more than 2 coats. So now we'll let this coat sit for another 30 minutes, let it dry, and then we'll look at it again. Okay, everybody, we're back. It's been about 30 minutes. So put that second coat on, and we're going to check it like we did earlier. I don't see any light, any light reflecting off of it where it looks like it's wet. Feel it, it's not cold. And this surface is ready to go. This surface is ready to paint on. I'm not going to do it in this video, but the one thing I will say that I will tell you is, if you're doing this on a canvas, I would recommend going through and making sure you cover all these edges. To put black gesso on all these edges and stuff, it just won't look right if your black gesso stops right here and then all this is still white. Now, the benefits of learning to do this is, number one, it'll help you save money, because if you're wanting to do a painting and all you have are the standard white canvases, you're not going to have to go out and buy any more canvases, because if you've got the black gesso, because you can do it yourself. And some brands charge a little extra for having black canvases. Another benefit of using gesso is, a lot of not only Bob Ross's paintings, but other artists out there do underpainting with acrylic gesso, and that helps to keep you from taking such a big chance of mixing mud, because your dark's already on there because of the black gesso, and you just put the highlights on top of it. So I hope I helped some of y'all out there, gave y'all some information that y'all were looking for. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if this is your first time to visiting my channel, then I want to say welcome. I'm glad to have you. If you've been here before, I'd like to say welcome back. I'm glad to have you, and happy painting to all of you. And I hope you take me along with you in your painting journey.